All right, finish Dig Deeper. What did I learn and how can it help you? Stick with me because we're gonna sit down right now and talk everything that I learned in the last phase 3 of Dig Deeper that will actually help you. Let's do it. All right, let's talk results. Phase 3, Dig Deeper. What were mine? Here they are, right there. You get them all right there from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Those are all of them. I will just get to the point. I lost 10 pounds. I definitely had a body recomposition, which means I changed the amount of muscle in my body and the amount of fat in my body. That ratio I changed up because I went from a 33-34 pant, which is the largest I've ever been, into a 31 comfortably. It's where I feel the most comfortable. I've always felt the most agile, the most speed, right around that waist size. I don't know why, but I did go from 184 to about 174 pounds with a recomposition. I didn't do a DEXA scan, so I don't know the actual fat percentage, the actual muscle percentage, but it's apparent, and nor did I feel like I wanted to be able to do it. I mean, maybe if I had the access to it, I would have done it, but I didn't think ahead of time, so I didn't think that it would then be important in the video. And before I get started, like, share, comment, drop me any questions that you have down below because I want to be able to be here to answer anything that I can to help you on your fitness journey. That being said, if you do need help with your fitness journey, reach out, ask me. Get involved with one of my groups, get involved with me one-on-one, get involved. The key to your success is going to be to start and then to ask questions and then to be consistent. And I'm here to help you with all those things and support you on your journey. Now, let's just jump into phase 3. I already did a week 1 and start, and just to backtrack very quickly, the whole entire time I've used the system of week 1, collect data, weeks 2 is learn, and week 3 is apply, and weeks 4 is test. I just kind of put it together that way so that I would be able to not put myself in this linear progression of everything's got to get better each and every week. First week, I just wanted to know what was going on, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, you see that I don't go in crazy, super high focused. I go in to collect data so that I can then begin to apply it. And then in week 4, I test it and take it up a notch. Absolutely nothing changed for me systematically going into phase 3, but what I did notice with the workout portion, it seemed like there was a little bit more volume. It was much more concentrated. It was very much on muscle groups now rather than, I don't want to say that it was general before, but this was hyper focused on back or legs and very specifics in the recomposition process. So I'm going to do a video that breaks down each and every phase so then you can look at the program and say, hey, maybe I don't have 12 weeks, but I've got 4 weeks. Which phase should I choose where I'm at currently to get the results that I want to be able to do? So look for that to come in the future. Phase 3, there were several descending ladders, which means there was a little bit more thought and focus going into weight selection because you had to think about what you'd be able to do while still challenging yourself and your nervous system and going forward. And then there were supersets, which meant 2 exercises back to back with the same amount of reps. It was the classic bro splits, pick stuff up, put stuff down. It was a lot of fun, but I was in the grind, and I want to make this video so that I help you. Not that everything is always going to be great with any video or any workout that I do, but this one particularly because it was 12 weeks, I had a lot of different emotions, and in phase 3, I was in the grinder. Like literally at that point, and I've talked about it previously, about being tempted by outside sources, talking to my buddies, they wanted to go to dinner and alcohol and try this wine and eat these types of food, and I just had made a commitment. I made a commitment to myself and I made a commitment to you. And that was one of the driving forces in my consistency, was to honor my word in my commitment. But I was in the grinder and I was like, what am I going to be able to do to switch things up so that I can continue the level of momentum and consistency that I had? The first thing that I did, well, I solicited my buddy, Jesse. That's Jesse right there. He is an ex-trainer with high-profile clients. He's trained a lot of celebrities, got them ready for movie roles. He was pretty well known for a while. Jesse stepped away from training, but he stayed in the health and fitness world. He now works with major brands on their content and their campaigns in the photography end of it. He works with some of your big major influencers on their fitness programs and their content for many different platforms. So you've probably seen Jesse's work out there. but you just haven't seen Jesse. So what made it fun for me is that when Jesse and I linked back up, we decided we would work out together, and then he brought a different game to the post-workout selfie, as well as a lot of good conversations during our workouts, which I think is important that when you start to do your own workouts, it's thinking about the community that you want to be involved in, or if you've got a buddy somewhere that you can work out with so that you can be hyper focused, right? The power of two will always be better than the power of one. So we basically collaborated our schedules so that I could finish out the last 4 weeks while having a workout buddy that we could do some fun things with. And then when exercises came up that I didn't necessarily want to do, and even exercises that he didn't want to do, we were able to collab and figure out what we wanted to introduce instead that still hit the same muscle group, which made the last 4 weeks not so much of a grind. We were able to change some of the exercises out that we felt better fit ourselves while we were at the gym. All of the dig deeper workouts in the gym while not doing them follow along. I did watch the videos so that I knew exactly what ShaunT's workout looks like, and then I took the worksheets into the gym. I only watched the videos once. I didn't watch them every day because each phase only has 5 workouts in it, and then he repeats them. So as soon as I knew the 1 week, I knew the whole rest of the 3 weeks that went along with it. So I took those worksheets into the gym with Jesse, and we just kind of worked it out. And where there was a problem with him that he didn't like an exercise, or a problem with me that I didn't exercise, we just changed it up and still hit the same muscle. It was not a problem, and it wasn't a big deal. It just really helped me out while I was in the grind of the last 4 weeks. Because 12 weeks, I'm going to remind you guys, this is a very long time to make a commitment. I think it's incredible because it allows you to build patterns and habits over time that you can then fall back on in stress and overwhelm. But it's also a commitment, a big commitment of your time and energy, and especially if you're a stay-at-home dad or if you've got a busy schedule. It's a lot for you. So I understand that 12 weeks can be a grinder to commit to your nutrition, to showing up, to your workouts, to an hour of your day, plus sleep and supplements, all kinds of things that you are actually putting together in a health and fitness tornado to better yourself. So 12 weeks, it's tough, last 4-hour grind, but it also helps you build those patterns. So, which I want to remind you, if you miss a day, don't sweat it. Just get back at it. Get back into where you're at. Don't think that you have to start over. Don't think that you blew your entire program because you got a little bit off a track. And I'll talk about that in another video, but it's okay. There is nothing you are getting at the end, and you did the program, whether it took you 91 days or 97 days or 77 days, whatever that timeline is, you did the program. High five. Let's move into what else I added into the third phase. I needed to stretch. I felt bound. I don't know what more to tell you, but it was a program that made me feel like, oh God, like I need more shoulder mobility, or I need more thoracic mobility, mid-back. So I added stretching in on the weekends. But again, that wasn't part of this program, so I wasn't worried about it. The goal was to recomp my body, to change the ratio between my muscle and my fat. That's what it was. It wasn't about flexibility. So I just added in more stretching on the weekends. Let's talk nutrition. What can you look forward to? What might you struggle with? Well, I mean, my metabolism was through the roof. Like I definitely felt that I wanted to eat more, that my body wanted more in phase 3. Even though everyone thinks like, oh, I have to cut calories so that I can cut down. I was not in that place. I can tell you that in phase 1, I ate more calories. Phase 2, I was in maintenance. In phase 3, again, I was in maintenance, but a knowledgeable maintenance phase. And my body naturally recomped. That's what was so great. I didn't feel as though I had to cut calories in order to look a certain way. And nor did I feel that I needed to compete to cut calories to look a certain way so that I would feel that I exhausted myself at the end, on the last day. So my nutrition, high metabolism, I started to eat more, I think. You know, I felt like there were days I did eat a lot and there were days that there were not. I felt great that I wasn't in a system. I felt that I had taken the patterns that I had learned in phase 1 and phase 2, and I was just applying them in phase 3, which meant if I'm hungry, eat protein. If I was tired, eat more carbohydrates, and then I would be fine. that's really where I was at. And I know you guys are hoping that I would tell you more about macros and calories and dialing it in. But I feel like I earned a world of being dialed in without having to dial in. And I wasn't stressed or overwhelmed over portion sizes and counting and figuring it out and whether or not I missed it or I was forcing myself to eat more, because that's what the book says, and that's what people say, and that's what this doctor says or this trainer says. Not at all. Like, I just felt I needed to be in a good, healthy place. And I strongly suggest that maybe you go that way too. You're 8 weeks in, going into your last 4: carbohydrates, protein. There was a focus on protein, but when I needed energy, I went into carbohydrates with a high metabolism, and I fed the metabolism. I was never afraid to feed my metabolism. I think that that's something most don't understand in a phase where you have a high metabolism. You're like, I'm so used to having to restrict weight so that I can lose weight, so that I can look lean, so I could be vascular, so that I could, have a six pack. How about let's create some muscle so you eventually burn some fat, and that you'll burn more fat during the day so that you can eat more and that you can feel good. I think that when you start looking at it that way, and that your health and fitness is not a 90-day program, but it's a year-long program. It's 2 years, it's 3 years, it's ongoing, it's cycles, it's phases. When you start to look at it that way, I think that you'll realize that you can get away without having to supercut going into phase 3, which I don't think you should do anyways. Like, what are you gonna do? Supercut to take a picture? And then what? Not maintain it? Let's move on. Let's not do it. Let's get over that. Let's feel good. Let's feed ourselves. Let's build some muscle and some strength. I was very confident in my eating in phase 3. I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't feel any negativity. And even on the last day when I walked away, it wasn't this major letdown. It wasn't this, oh my gosh, I need to have the pizza. I need to have the cookies. I get to go and drink. I get to have these things that I put on the back burner. I never had that feeling. It was the most bizarre feeling about nutrition and with workouts I've ever had with a program, because I was like, well, I feel strong. I feel fit. I'm not injured. I could definitely use some more athleticism and some flexibility, but that's a new phase and a new cycle. And I was like, I really don't long to go have beers and eat hamburgers and pizza and, live my life and make moments. Like, I just didn't feel it. I was like, I built some patterns. I built some habits. And this is good. This is where I wanted to be. And I'm very happy that that's the way I felt, rather than, let the flood door open and let me eat whatever I want. And I think that if you can take that approach, you're going to be in a really good spot for you. And if you've done anything in the past that's been health and fitness related, where you abstain or restricted or you held back on, that feeling of being like, I get to go balls to the wall and eat. And then you're like, I feel like crap. And why did I do that? And then you crush your momentum. I don't know. I feel like since I approached this in such a good way, that I came out of it with high level of patterns and habits and mentality, and just feeling good about my health in general. I mean, that's why I call my brand, the fit identity. It's just who I am, and if that means that I eat less cookies now, cool. If I eat less pizza, well, and that I don't drink as much, which I don't. Like, I really don't drink. And I realize that that's just where I'm at, because this is how I want to feel. So that's my nutrition all balled up in one. I think that's it. If you guys want to talk more about nutrition, please ask away. Ask any nutrition questions down below. I'll be happy. I'm going to make a video on my nutrition and how I did it for each phase, just a little bit better. I've made some other ones, but they're okay. But I will say the next one that I make will be more informative and easier on the ears for you guys to digest, and the stomach, right? There you go. The best takeaway that I can get: dig deeper works. There's plenty of volume. There's plenty of different ways to not be bored, even though I was grinding. I don't know that I was bored. I was grinding. And even though when I was a little bit bored, I just threw a different exercise in there that still fit that same muscle group. It was a back muscle. I knew that I wasn't training for a physique competition, so I didn't care. Having that mentality and knowing that the program had enough volume and reps and that it wasn't going to create boredom really made it easy for me to do, whether you do it at home or do it in the gym. And, I did it in the gym, but that doesn't mean his follow along isn't fun, isn't great, isn't kind of a cool thing to be able to do. I'll have an honest moment with you guys. As far as follow along, it's not for me. I don't want to do a follow along. I'm not at that place in my fitness. However, I think ShaunT's speed and what Shaun did with the follow along is excellent. If you are at home, you love the follow along, if that's part of your system and plan, he's got you covered. I will say ShaunT has got you covered. Just be prepared for a little hype, a little motivation, just Shaun being Shaun. I don't know other way to put it. Be prepared for that, but he's going to guide you through it, and it's going to be a real good experience for you, I'm going to imagine. If not, turn him down, watch him, put your own music on, and enjoy it. I took it to the gym with the worksheets, knocked it out, and I had incredible results. See, no lie. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, there they are, right? Those results speak for themselves. As far as me feeling, and you're like, what did I feel when I was done? It's kind of weird feeling. I don't know. I've never been in a place where I don't feel as though I was stressed. I don't know. I think that's the best way of putting it. The way that I approach this systematically and in my head and when I worked out, how I worked out, it was the right fit for me. And that's one of my specialties when working with people is finding the right fit for you, right? What is good for you and where you're at and what you're going to be able to do, and not get you into a system that is too advanced for you or too below you, and get you into a place where you're going to thrive and be able to progress. I think that because I did that, for me, it was just an easy transition back into a non-dig deeper life, a non-12-week life. I definitely didn't have that bodybuilder transition where they're like, I need to eat all this sugar and I need to go crazy and I need to bloat up and then I'm going to cut back down and get into another cycle and phase. I didn't have it. But I was thrilled with the program and I thought it was good. I think it's one of the best ones that they made in a long time. It was niche based. And I think his cueing was great. I thought the program was great. I wish for three things: a trainer track, supplements that went along with it, and then a nutrition plan that went along with it. I'm still not sold on being like, portion fix goes with everything. I'm not, So I can tell you guys what I did. You can go back and look at some of my videos. I kind of sort of counted macros, but you heard me earlier what I said. And what do I do next? Well, I help you. I make videos like this. I continue to make them for you so that you can help yourself. I run groups. I work one-on-one with you. I do what I can to help you where you're at, to take whatever vision's inside your head and bring that into life as far as your healthy identity. So that is what I'm working on right now. And if you want to join me, work with me, reach out to me, or you just have a question, I'm not always pay for play, guys. I'm not. Just message me. I'm more than happy to help. That will always be my first love, is helping you. And as far as my own health and my fitness, I am probably going to move more into something more athletic, something that'll get my joints more pliable and get some flexibility and stability in. So those are my areas that I'm going to concentrate on next, knowing that my body, my health, my fitness level is in a really good spot, and that Dig Deeper was a piece of that. It was a tool that I used in my Home Depot of fitness to get me to where I am, and I don't need to be back into another hyper-focused program at this period of time unless it involves stability, pliability, athleticism, and flexibility. So reach out if you guys have any questions. Again, like, share, comment. I would appreciate any of it. Critique me. I always love that too. I love people who want to have banter. I'm open for any type of communication. But in the meantime, I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys showing up. I will make some other videos as far as when to use phase 1, 2, and 3 to break it apart. I will talk about supplements that I did. I will talk about my nutrition plan. Look for a lot more so that you can apply those things in this program or whatever program that you're doing. Until then, I'll see you guys soon. Stay well, be well.